Hi folks, Stuart here from the Four Crows Bushcraft and Primitive Living Skills, and welcome to another of our videos. So today, as you can see, I've come out to this lovely piece of woodland which has some small streams running through it. So hopefully those small streams contain fish if we were in a situation where we're needing to catch food to feed ourselves. So how would we go about landing some fish to put on the fire to sustain ourselves? Well, what I normally carry with me is a small spool of monofilament line, which is rated at 4 pounds breaking strength, and also a small vial containing some small hooks and some split shot weights. So you're maybe thinking to yourself, well, bare hooks and some monofilament line doesn't put fish on the plate. So what I try to do when I'm out is use nature's resources to help me expand on the equipment that I've got here. So what I'm going to do is head off now, see if I can find some resources which will help us make some rigs, and hopefully be able to catch a small trout or something. So first up I need a rod. So what we've got here is a Salix species, which is a willow. I think it's goat willow. So I'm going to get my rod from this tree here. So, got a nice long rod. It's a bit supple in the end, which we want. So I'll just clean this up and we'll see what else we can find. So I've been off for a wander and now I'm back, and here's some of the resources that I've collected, which hopefully will help us put a line in the water and maybe land a fish for some supper. So what we've got here is some sheep's wool, some small feathers and some large feathers, a rod along with our hooks and weights and our line. So I'm going to make a couple of rigs with what I've got, and we'll take it from there. So now that I've gathered resources from what nature provides, I'm going to start making the rigs. So what I'm going to do is make 2 rigs. One rig will be for a natural bait and the other will be an artificial lure using the things that we found. So the first thing that I need to do is, for both sets of rigs, I need a float, and this is where large feathers will play a part. So for large feathers, how do we make a float? Well, old stick floats, if you're into fishing, originally were made using the quills of feathers. So here you can see I've got a couple of decent sized feathers which will do the job, and all I need to do is strip off the feathery parts to get the quill. So yeah, that'll be fine. So I just basically pull off the filament. I'll come forward so you can see the filaments. You can see where I've already pulled some off. Just take the other side and pull all the way up to the end, and the other side. So you can see there's the quill, the piece of feather on the end. So it gets very thin at this end, so I'm going to take that off with my knife. So we just have the quill. Grab that and I'll step back. There we go. And we'll keep these nice black end feathers. They'll come in handy later. So here we go, you can see I have my quill. So next up, I need to be able to have it sitting this way in the water. So what I need to do is make a small hole down the bottom, and the line will attach to this, and this will be our float. So carry on and we'll make our float. So I hope you can see that. I have made a hole through the quill, which will take our line. This is at the thin end of the quill. And I'll take that out and push it through the other side. See that? One hole. So what we need next is a small piece of rubber from a Ranger band, which is basically a piece of bicycle inner tube. All we need to do is cut a little square off. Then pierce a small hole through it, which allows us to attach it to our quill. And this is so we can pass our line down the side of the quill and through the hole we made previously. So now that we've got one float rig made up with a bare hook for natural bait, we're now on to making the artificial lure. So what I've got here is a hook. I don't know if you make the eye of the hook out, and what I've done is I've twisted sheep's wool along and then added a couple of half hitches to secure it, and what I'm going to do now is add some of the feathers that we collected and bind them in as well. So we just get these feathers to stay in place without twisting. Try and grab that as tight as I can. There we go. There we go. And we'll put another couple of half hitches in. So this is not like fly tying at home where you've got vices and all manner of things to help you. This is just using your hands to do the work. Oops, missed that. There we go. There we go. So leave that. So you can see, looks a little rusty at the moment, but with a trim here and a trim there, we'll get it looking like a lure. So I'll take that off there and cut that piece of wool off. And there we have our artificial fly. Let's say we just give it a little tidy up. So now we have our rigs made. We have one artificial, which is to represent a fly, which you saw me making with the bird's feather and the sheep's wool, and the other one is for bait, and this is what I'm doing now. I'm looking for natural bait for the other lure. So what I'm actually looking for is caddisfly larvae. So here we are looking for some natural bait for a plain hook rig. So what I'm looking for is caddisfly larvae, which are of the Trichoptera species, which are closely related to moths and butterflies. So here you can see caddisfly on the stream bottom in his little house, because the larva secretes silk, which then grabs debris from the bottom to make into a home. So we'll collect some of those and we'll try out our fishing rigs. So now I'm rigged up. I have my rod, which is basically a stick, and what I'm going to use is my float, which we made out of the quill of the feather, with a small hook on the end, which you can see this. So I've also got my bait, which is the caddisfly larva. You can see my hand there. So there's a trick to getting these out, so I'll show you that. Basically, if you try to peel them open as they are, you will actually break the soft body of the larva. So there is a technique to this. Old fishermen know about this trick and use these for bait. So I'll show you how to get them out. So to get these larvae out, you can see they're running about. If I try to pull them out, they just shoot back into their hidey holes. Okay, so the trick to do with them is I'll take one, I'll place these other ones down. As you can see, there's the larva coming out. So if I try to grab him like so, he retreats back into his shell. So what the secret is in the base of his home is open-ended. So we take a blade of grass stalk and push it up inside. So pop that on its back so you can see. Just clear that a little so I've got a smaller piece, and stick that up inside, tickle the grub, and you can see he starts to retreat, coming out of his casing. So I can then gently, oops, see if I can get him. Push in and out, pops. It's hanging on there. To say you don't want to pull on him because he'll break, and that is our caddis larva out of his shell, ready to be used as bait. So we'll stick this one on the hook and gather them other ones and see if we can lure a fish to our rod. So there we go then. That was me doing a spot fishing using the rod cut from the tree and some rigs that Mother Nature helped us along with by providing materials, i.e. the feathers, so I could strip the feathers to get the quill to make floats. Also the feathers and the sheep's wool we turned into flies for artificial lures. We only brought in our monofilament and some hooks and split shot for weights, and unfortunately no fish were landed. I had plenty of bites, but I think the hooks that I'm using are still a little on the large side for the size of trout and salmon par that's in these waters. We are very far inland, so these are spawning grounds for salmon and trout, so the fish that are in here are very small. But hopefully this will have given you an idea of what can be achieved by scouring around the woods, picking up what nature provides and then utilising it to our advantage. So there we go then, that's how we made some fishing tackle out in the woods. Well, thank you for joining me on this video. I hope you found it informative. If you'd like to leave any comments below, I'd be very pleased to read them. Also, if you'd like to give it a like, thumbs up, subscribe or share, then it'd be very much appreciated. So, thanks for joining us guys, and I'll catch you for the next one. Bye.